Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Am I the Bad Person? So, today we're going to be talking about how to deal with your family at social events and trips that you may take with your family. So, today we have a few scenarios that we're going to go over, and yeah, let's dive right in. So, the first question is, am I the bad person for not inviting my wife to my mother's birthday outing with just my siblings? So, my mother is about to celebrate a milestone birthday, so we're having a big party, dinner, etc., with the whole family, grandkids and all, obviously including my wife. It was also suggested that separate from the party and birthday dinner, the siblings, five of us, all of which are married, take my mother out for something special, with just us and her. So not my dad or kids, or any of our spouses. Not even sure what we are going to do yet, maybe painting with a twist, or brunch or whatever, but when I brought this up with my wife, she became upset, indicated that she thought I was drawing boundary lines between my family and excluding her, and making her feel like she is not part of the family. And even that, I made her feel like we aren't one together. When all my thought process was that I thought it would be nice for the kids to take my mom out for something with just us, which really never happens anymore. My wife doesn't have a great relationship with her family, which I feel is leading to this reaction. But my motives were truly not to go out of my way to exclude her. Just wanted to spend quality time with my mom. So Reddit, am I the bad person for not inviting my wife to the birthday event with my siblings? So, this is a very tough situation because I would say that you're not the bad person, and the reason for that is because sometimes there's going to be moments that you share out. It's funny because you kind of have like a circle of people in your life. You have your wife, you have your parents, you have your siblings, you have many different aspects of your life that sometimes you don't want to kind of blend together because you want to have specific memories with specific people. So essentially there'll be times where you're having like memories with your wife and yourself, for example, which would be like your honeymoon, for example. And there'll be times where you're having like family outings, like a barbecue, and maybe you just want it to be just you and your family, for example. So it's completely acceptable to actually have events that maybe your spouse isn't a part of. And sometimes you just need that to actually have certain memories, certain long-lasting memories that you'll take with you for the rest of your life. So I would say in this case, you're not the bad person, and you deserve to have time with your siblings and your mother, especially with how much time she may have left, or you never know. Things happen in life. So the next question is, am I the bad person for disinviting my daughter to Thanksgiving when she won't host Thanksgiving? Throwaway. In our family, holidays are rotated. So one person hosts the 4th of July, another hosts Christmas, and another hosts Thanksgiving, etc. This way, no one is constantly hosting, and it makes it fair for everyone. This post is about my middle daughter, Clara. Clara has always been skipping her host duties. When it gets to her, she has an excuse why she can't host. It ranges, but usually goes along the lines of stress or she's too busy. The result is other family members to pick up her holiday. It is frustrating, and multiple people have talked to her about this. She bailed on hosting Easter, but promised me that she would do Thanksgiving. We swapped holidays. At the time, I made it very clear she needed to stay true to her word, and if she dumped it on someone else, she wouldn't be going to Thanksgiving. It usually gets dumped on me. Anyway, I called her asking if she wanted me to bring a dessert board for Thanksgiving. She told me that she could not host because she just had moved into her home. She moved in July, and it was too messy to host. I told her she could clean since it was just a few weeks away. She told me she can't. I know the other kids can't host it. Well, one could, but she's doing Christmas, and it's not fair at all for her. I informed everyone it would be at my place this year. I also informed everyone that Clara is not invited this year to Thanksgiving. Clara was pissed when I told her that, and we got into a huge argument. She thinks I am a big jerk. My other kids are split. 2 of them are happy since they are tired of picking up her slack when this happens, while the other things, this is too far. So, outside opinion. So, I would say in this situation, you're not the bad person, and I'll tell you why. The reason is because sometimes it's easy to disregard, like the responsibility of being a family member. So sometimes as a family member, you have to share the burdens of, holidays and things of this nature, because you can't just leave it to just one person, because this will burn out that person. It'll make it more difficult for them to, actually enjoy the holidays if they have to constantly be hosting or constantly have to picking up your slack. So I would say you're not the bad person. And I think sometimes it takes an event like this to actually show the person that they need to be responsible, that they need to pick up the slack. Because without it, they're just going to continue to have this nature of like, hey, like there's no repercussions for doing what I'm doing. So I think it's important to make sure that the person understands that there is consequences to their actions. So I definitely agree that you're not the bad person, and hopefully, your daughter Clara gets over this issue and starts hosting herself. Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and I'm the host of TheLostSanctuary. I hope you've been enjoying our content so far, and if you have, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also, we have our website up here, and we also have some socials down here, and as always, leave your comments down below. Alrighty, so let's move on to the next question. Am I the bad person for refusing to do the dishes at my aunt's birthday because she refused I take part of the cake part of her birthday lunch so I could do the dishes instead? Hello everyone, I'm in a bit of a pickle with my family right now. I was invited to my aunt's 50th birthday party 2 days ago. When my family has big events like this, they rent a building for it. Kitchen, bathroom, and the indoor and outdoor main spaces. When there are these events, I always volunteer myself to do the dishes because I love the calm it has since after a while I'm so tired of people and I just want to be alone. So it allows me to rest and help at the same time. That brings us to the issue at hand. My aunt celebrated her 50th birthday 2 days ago. When it was time for the cake, my aunt put a pile of plates in my hand. I was a bit confused, but I figured I would help and put them in the kitchen. When I came back and started to approach to see her blow the candles of the cake, she looked at me and told me to go back into the kitchen and start on it. I was confused, so I asked her what she meant. She told me that since I always clean the dishes at all the family events, that I should do it now since the lunch was over. I thought she was joking, so I chuckled and told her that I would, but first there was the cake. That apparently was a mistake because she guided me back to the kitchen, told me that there was no cake for me, and I needed to be a good niece and do the dishes. I refused, saying it was unfair and that I would gladly do them after. She told me no, and that I needed to start now. I refused once again and told her I would not do it at all, and left the kitchen and the building and just went outside. I didn't want to ruin the mood of things by complaining and being the bad guy during her birthday. My aunt is now upset at me and bad-mouthing me to my family, saying I hate her and wanting to ruin her birthday. Honestly, I would have helped as I always did, but after the cake, not before. And the fact that she just wanted me out of the way during the cake part of the event rubs me the wrong way. I'm at a loss. I don't understand because I never had any issue with her. Should I have just done them as I always do? Am I the bad person? So, this is actually a very awkward event, and I would say you're not the bad person in this case because, there's going to be times where you yourself kind of want to do something and you'll do it out of your own, you voluntarily do it yourself because, it makes you feel good and you feel like you're contributing. But, the second that someone actually tells you to do it, sometimes it kind of takes away the flair of like, hey, like maybe I actually don't want to do it. So that kind of happened here in this situation. But the other thing is that the aunt was being unfair, basically excluding her from the family event. And one of the most important events too, which is effectively the cake portion of any birthday party. That's usually one of the most pinnacle events in any birthday party. So, effectively excluding your niece from this is kind of like spitting in their face and not a good sign at all. I would say that, I think the aunt did something wrong here where she effectively wanted to kind of get her out the way, which I don't really understand why. Maybe just to be the center of attention, but I don't think that this was a great show of unity within a family. So I'm glad that you stood up for yourself and definitely like, you know, your helpful nature will not go unrewarded in the future. So that's all I have on this item. So let's move on to the next one. Am I the bad person for expecting to be included in boyfriend's daughter's birthday trip? My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years. We live together, we both have kids, and I have mine 24/7. He has his daughter every other weekend. Sometimes his daughter stays with me for all of her school break while dad works. When we got together, we agreed that we would treat each other's kids as our own. I try to be involved as much as can, but try not to overstep as he co-parents with his ex. I haven't met his ex yet. I haven't asked to meet her, and neither has she. At this point in the relationship, I assume that I'm his family. Yet, he keeps me separate from his daughter when it comes to sports, birthday parties, etc. He never invites me, only says, I have this going on for my daughter, and is on his way. I've always respected it, never questioned it, and remained in the background. 3 months ago, he mentioned he will work OT or a second job to save up for Disney for his daughter's birthday. He never invited, he only mentioned it. I assumed eventually he'd tell me more about it, invite me, but he didn't. And I never brought it up. A few weeks later, we had a barbecue with friends at our house. One of our friends overheard he had a Disney trip planned for his daughter's birthday without me. She told him he should take me and give me my place as his future wife in his family. I joked and said he didn't invite me because his ex doesn't want me there, and he avoided the comment. All he said was, it's going to be my ex's first time going to Disney. She's never been there. I let it be, moved on from it. 2 months later, he brought it up again. I asked questions like, who's all going, etc. He said, my daughter, both my parents, and my ex is going. I said, okay. He brought up again. And this time, he mentioned a friend of his ex was going. And that made me feel some type of way. But I let it go. I let it be out of respect for his daughter. He talked about it again today, said he wanted to go fish out there, plans to stay longer with his dad while his mom, daughter, his ex, and ex-friend will come back sooner. I then said, oh, more people going? He said yes. And that his ex's sister and boyfriend will be meeting them up. I couldn't stay quiet any longer and asked him why wasn't I invited, since there seems to be a lot of people, more people going. And he told me he asked his ex if I could go, and she said no. I asked why did she say no, and he said she just said no and she doesn't want to meet you. It hurt my feelings, and I told him it was very messed up for him to exclude me if he wanted me to be there, that his ex should suck it up, and that if he really wanted me there, he should have stood up to her and let her know what he wanted. I understand it's his daughter's birthday trip and it's about her, but I felt excluded from something important in his life that I wanted to be a part of. I guess I was wrong to assume of being included now that he is mad at me because I made it a big deal and says he won't go. He should still go. All I wanted was to know why he didn't invite me. Now I feel horrible and wonder if I crossed the line, with voicing my feelings. So this is a tricky situation since you're dealing with an ex here. So I would say you're not the bad person in this regard, because it really felt weird, kind of the whole situation where he was effectively excluding you from this, but there were so many other people kind of going. So he should have definitely stood up to you. He should have stood up for you and not actually just kind of push the issue under the rug, because you really felt excluded and you've done so much for him as his current partner, and it doesn't make sense for you to just be excluded just because his ex didn't want you there. One of the most important aspects of being in a relationship is ensuring that you both are in a good place, especially as much as you can, especially with an event like this where it's not like there really should be an exclusion list. It really should just be up to your partner to stand up for you and really show that he cares for you. So I would say you're not the bad person, and you definitely deserve to go on the trip with him. And he shouldn't really have made such a big deal out of this one. So yeah. All right. So that concludes Am I the Bad Person? Episode 13. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and adios.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and I'm wishing everyone out there all the best. All right, until next time, Adios.